I wanted to share with you today a mulled wine recipe that is a little bit of a twist on the classics. It's heavier on the spice, but ultimately mulled wine is about wine. So I'm working with Amato Vino's Cabernet. Brad Weir, the winemaker and the founder and owner of Amato Vino, is a very dear friend of mine. He is a minimalist intervention winemaker, so unfined, unfiltered, and has, I guess, alternate varieties of grapes from different areas in the region. Cabernet is, of course, one of the Margaret River region's signature grapes. I've been cooking Rogan Josh, and I've been enjoying a glass of his Cabernet while I'm doing it. So actually the bottle's already opened. So let's do it. So the Cabernet is really probably a medium-bodied Cabernet. It has a little bit of grip, but it's not too tannic or powdery. It still has a lot of rich fruit flavour and a little bit of earthy spice texture in there as well. So it has a very beautiful structure, which lends it to stronger spice, which is why that's what I'm choosing to use today. So I think I'm going to do a half bottle and then give it a touch with spice. So you can see in front of me what I have here is a little collection of whole spice, a little bit of sugar to sweeten off the contrast, and then orange, which will add the addition of a little bit of freshness and zest and acidity, and it will help break down some of that really overt spice structure. Spice and wine aren't natural bedfellows, they tend to compete. So in order to have them meet in a common space, this orange is going to go some way to reducing the volume of impact that the dried spice has on the wine so that the character of the wine still comes forward. It's a half bottle, so I'm going to go light. I'll put a recipe for a full bottle in the comments underneath so you'll be able to access that. So 1 bay leaf, 1 small or narrow cinnamon quill, 2 cloves, and a small star anise. And into that, I'm going to put a little bit of caster sugar, half a teaspoon. One of the mistakes that are often made around spice is the overuse of spice. You don't need to use volume because the chemical interaction that occurs between spice exponentially increases the impact of every single one. So essentially what I'm talking about when I say that is cinnamon is going to play through star anise, and star anise is going to play through clove. Clove is going to play through bay leaf, and bay leaf is going to play through cinnamon. So they're all going to essentially express themselves through each other, and in every single expression they make another flavour impact. So just using small amounts is really enough, especially when you're dealing with a sensitive produce like wine. Just to finish, a little bit of orange, and again not too much, so 2 slices, or maybe 1.5. And lastly, a little bit of fenugreek seed, let's say 1/3 of a teaspoon. So fenugreek is a preservative, but it has a degree of bitterness in this form. And so what we're using it for is that bitterness and is that structure. And that's going to provide a bit of a counterpoint to the sweet wet of orange and to the sweet intensity of the caster sugar there. And then heat this on a medium heat, enough for the spice to go through, but not enough so that the wine begins to cook down. The spice overwhelms and the alcohol evaporates. And it's instantly aromatic. It smells beautiful. We used to go to the Christmas markets in Munich when we lived in Paris, and mulled wine makes perfect sense in a Northern European winter. It's warm and it's structured and it's rich, and the spice has given the wine a really beautiful, gentle back note of aromatic fragrance while still letting the wine be the star. And for me, particularly when you're using a wine as beautiful as Brad's, you really do want to allow the wine space to breathe and to ease back on that spicing, just to create a frame really for all of the structure that's going to the bottle.